Hello, and welcome to this brief video on creating analytics for evaluating pump efficiency within Info360. You could really do this within any type of time series data environment and with SCADA information, but it's really great to do this within Info360 Insight, which we'll be going through in this presentation to really tie that to your hydraulic model, make it very accessible and clean, and help organize any misleading data. So who is this quick video for? It's for operators looking to maximize efficiencies within your network. We know energy costs are one of the greatest costs within most utilities. Those energy costs at pumps that aren't working at their most efficient points can be really great. It's for maintenance crews needing to schedule alerts on assets so that they can maintain peak pump performance. And then it's for modelers, engineers, GIS staff looking to better connect their planning level hydraulic models to live data that again we're consuming really within Info360 Insight or whatever kind of SCADA platform again you're working in. If you can have that better connected to your model, that can help with so many things from calibration to more accurate models, etc. So in this workflow we'll be going through, it's really 4 quick steps. One is gathering and linking time series information to the application we'll be looking at, again the Autodesk application Info360 Insight. And this might need to be organized and kind of planned ahead first. Understanding what data you need in order to do this from a schematic view is often helpful. So we'll look at how we can create that pump energy output analytic from that time series data. Then we'll compare that output to the input, how much energy is being used for that pump versus how much is being produced and actually flowing into the water from an efficiency standpoint. And then we can look at how we can add that to a workspace to really make something easy to view, easy to access for operators and modelers as well. Alright, so what are the required inputs for doing this type of analytic here? There you see them all listed there on the right hand side there, but first things first, we'll need the upstream and downstream pressures for our pump station, so we can get the head difference, the actual energy added by the pump there. We'll need the flow rate going through that, again, pump or pump stations. The status, if we do have more than one pump, the status of each one, so that we can kind of isolate which ones might be most efficient or which ones are least efficient. And then ideally a pump manufacturer's curve as well would be great, so you can compare it to the manufacturer's curve where it should be operating at most efficient point there. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the software. And here we can quickly show this workflow inside Info360 Insight. So we're in the cloud application here, and again, first step is really gathering the information. So here I'm going to be looking at this pump 100 here, and you can see I have these different data streams of time series data coming into Info360 Insight. So I've got pressures, I've got power supplied here, which is nice. I've got the status, and I've got the flow rate here as well. Next thing that's nice about Info360 Insight is a lot of times when you're working with time series data, it can be messy. Sometimes those sensors can drop off. It's not always uniform. Their recording periods, sometimes they'll run out of battery. They'll show erroneous values. So it's nice to have a way to do some value mapping so that when something looks out of line, like in this case, when power is going to 0, we just pick the last known value. So we keep more of a stable, more uniform curve with this while maintaining our raw SCADA information. It's nice to have a platform that's completely separate where we might be able to make better judgments with that information here. Alright, so once we have that information, we can have the option of smoothing out to make it potentially more uniform. You can create these custom analytics within Info360 Insight to start to manipulate your raw data. Again, our pressure information, our flow rate is what we're really concerned with this single pump here, and create different analytics with them. So here I've got these inputs that were easy for me to add into this particular analytic, all coming together into this output. So here I've added the pump energy equation here. So I've got the change in pressure, I've got the head conversion in here from PSI to head, I've got the specific weight of water, I've got the flow rate, here I've got my conversion factor from horsepower to kilowatt hours, conversion from gallons to feet per second, again pounds per second, and then seconds to minutes here. I added all these conversion factors into this function. A lot of different ways you can use functions within Info360 Insight here. I can validate this. do this on a particular interval every 15 minutes, and then get a nice output there in terms of what is the actual power being delivered by this particular pump. And then I can further use that in additional analytics. So here's another one where I'm looking at pump efficiency. So here I'm taking that output from that last analytic, and I could have actually done this in one single one, but it's kind of nice to separate out into separate analytics to keep everything organized. But here I've got power output, power supplied, so we know that information coming in. Here I can take the difference between that, compare them to each other, and see the efficiency there. I can add a constant here and then look at the potential energy waste, so that now I have multiple outputs that I can now add to a workspace, which anyone within my organization can access if they have those correct Info360 credentials, and quickly zoom in and see points where maybe my efficiency wasn't at its greatest there, create alerts based on if an efficiency goes past a particular threshold, etc. So to wrap up, there are a lot of benefits within this workflow that hopefully you've been able to see, from better alerts to energy savings if we're able to report on this information in a more efficient way, to more frequent and accurate reporting if we're able to do this in more of a real-time, daily or weekly basis rather than annual or quarterly basis. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope to see you back here soon.